The recent Racing New South Wales Equimillion was a great example of the goodwill in the racing and breeding industry, with many businesses sponsoring riders, not only hoping to educate their thoroughbreds going forwards in their careers, but also potentially take home some lucrative prize money. Thoroughbred Breeders New South Wales sponsored not one but 3 riders in an event that is only going to continue to grow. Kirsten, it's been wonderful to see so many horses that have been bred, obviously raced in New South Wales, but bred in New South Wales as well, competing at Equimillion. It's just an outstanding turnout.
Yeah, I think actually the numbers are up from last year. Just on the first day, I'm seeing a lot more out and about, and the quality is amazing. Some of these horses are really impressive. They've obviously had a lot of time and love put into them. And then you've got some of these horses that look like they're just straight off the track and they're doing, their absolute best, and their riders are just giving it everything.
Yeah, so many of the studs are supporting each horse as well. I mean, we've seen a huge amount of the New South Wales leading players who are really proud to see their horses representing them here.
Yeah, I think it's pretty exciting for everybody. From our perspective, of course, we're going to try and sponsor riders that are looking for some input, but certainly you see a lot of the farms in the Hunter Valley just getting behind this. Since last year, it was a little slow burn at the beginning, and then it lifted off, and there was nearly every farm was representing a rider. Which is really great to see, and it's even extending further into business and into horse trainers. And everyone knows that training a horse off the track, or any horse, is not a cheap exercise. So any financial gain that we can give them, I think is a really good thing. It's great for this event that they're offering this to the riders.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the riders that Thoroughbred Breeders New South Wales is sponsoring in a minute. But overall, it's a really important thing to give these horses this opportunity away from racing, isn't it? And I think people that are, the naysayers against the industry, if they came out here and had a look at this, they'd be blown away.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they really would be. I think, there's a lot of people who take horses off the track, as I said, and spend a lot of time re-educating them for different disciplines. This actually is just showcasing all those disciplines in one spot.
And the trainers too. I mean, we've seen syndicators like Jamie Walter, or, you see a Chris Waller, Kim Waugh with lots of horses that are competing here. And, there's so many others too. So it's become almost a kind of a tick of, doing the right thing, I guess, to be associated with it.
Agreed. And from the trainer's perspective, I think it is a good thing to label up a horse that they've trained, because it's a testament to the way they've trained those horses, that they can turn their skills from off the track into, eventing, show jumping, dressage, even show horses. So yeah, it's a real testament to horse trainers.
And the variety of what we're seeing out here over the weekend. I mean, we're focusing on the dressage today and some show jumping on Monday, but there's cross country, there's show horse, there are show horse classes, and a lot of these horses are fairly new off the track too. There's the new star category, but it's really interesting watching them being exposed to this environment, because it's really quite electric out there.
Oh yeah, and some of them are hot, as the thoroughbred can be in time, and under pressure here, where there's so much going on. There's horses everywhere, there's people everywhere, and cars, and so I haven't seen any, incidents this morning. I think they're all very well controlled. I think they're just having a great time, and they'll settle in. Like, they've got to be exposed to these things to learn what they're like. And I've even seen probably there's horses here that may not be competing, that are just here for a little day out to see what it's all about.
Well, the 3 riders that Tbnsw is sponsoring, Carly Sawyer on Aldrich, who was Redamancy, and also Madeline Grist with Real Natural, or Fred, and Jamie Priestley on Cooler Down's Blue Jay. So a mix of dressage and jumping. What was it with those 3 riders that you particularly liked? What appealed to you about them?
Well, they're a good cross-section of different disciplines and different stages of the horse. Someone like Carly, who's got this horse that sold for $170,000 at Magic Millions and didn't do very well on the track. He's a magnificent looking animal. I just saw him. She's not had him long. She's doing a lot to train this horse. She's been training with Shane Rose, and she's got big dreams and aspirations. So that inspired me, that vision for what she has for herself and the horse. Maddie is a go-getter. I just met her this morning on her grey horse, and he is just lovely, and she loves him to death, and she bought him herself, she's trained him herself, and she's just here doing it for the passion and the love of it. And then you've got Jamie, who is a semi-pro, I would say. She's done very well in the junior titles across Australia, and internationally I think she's competed. So there's that different level of rider that we were trying to, sponsor a bit here and a bit there, rather than just going for the accolades of the one that's going to win. We really love to support the ones that we think need it, and also the ones that represent the breed well.
Jamie, it's quite an incredible event this, isn't it, Equimillion? So many thoroughbreds around, and it's been a big thing, a lot of riders getting sponsorship, and you have Thoroughbred Breeders New South Wales supporting you here. How did that come about?
It's amazing here actually to see how far it's come just in a year from last year. I've heard too that about 70% more numbers here than last year, so what an amazing growth that's happened in the last 12 months. And yes, I was fortunate enough to get a sponsorship with Thoroughbred Breeders New South Wales, so I was very, very lucky, and I've definitely seen a lot of support and a lot of sponsorship around for this event, which is very good. It was advertised on Facebook to apply for them, so had to be a member with them as well to we're supporting them as well. Got a very nice book with all the stallions and all the breeding and stuff from them, so that was really cool. And yeah, I applied through them, and I was lucky enough to get a sponsorship.
Yeah, is it something that interests you? Like, we'll talk about you've grown up in the equestrian world, but are you interested in the racing, the breeding side of it? Because it's so wonderful. I love seeing all the thoroughbred brands and where they've come from. Is that something that interests you, and you're finding you know more about it than you think when you're at an event like this?
Yeah, definitely. I think the breeding part of things is such a huge part. So following that and seeing, them from when they're first born to what they can grow into as well. It's very special to be able to have that connection with them from such a young age, and that's when you know them the best and they trust you the most as well. You get the most out of that and have a really special partnership.
And you're riding a mare, so tell me what you had to do, because your horse was obviously trained and bred, etc. in Victoria. Yeah. So you were looking for a horse you could ride. So it's interesting the different pathways people take to be able to get here with a thoroughbred.
Yeah, so I reached out to a friend, Alicia Cochran, who'd been campaigning this horse for about 12 months now. She's owned by Reg Ryan, and she'd actually just gone back to Reg's after being out on a West run with Alicia, and I was lucky enough to take the reins for the last 3 weeks for this special event.
And tell me about working with a mare, because a lot of people don't really understand, and we've done stories with mares that have been brood mares and come back to equestrian competition. Yeah. What do you like about riding a mare?
Funnily enough, I actually prefer the mares. I feel like they are a lot more tough and strong, and they're actually going to give you more out there than just having a gelding, which I've had both, but I think that there's a bit of a more special connection there with a mare, and they want to give you more.
So, well, tell me how she's gone.
We just had our event this morning. She finished in 5th, which was really exciting. Just having the ride on her for such a short amount of time, but going out there into the ring, she knew what her job was, and we went out and had a bit of a go, and it was a lot of fun. Based over the 2 rounds, so you want to be consistent in the first one. I mean, you don't want to go flat out and make them flat for the second class, but you still want to finish up in that top 5, I guess, to be close for go out and jump clear for the next one.
What is it that you like about thoroughbreds? You've obviously ridden a lot of them over your time.
Yeah, so my first jumping horse when I was about 12 was actually a thoroughbred. He was from George Sheridan, and he actually did a bit of eventing, and he actually took me to Sydney Royal and jumped me clear around my first juniors at Sydney Royal. So
fantastic.
That was really special, and I was lucky enough to ride him for a few years, and he ended up retiring at our place. They really want to please, they're really tough. The ones that I've been lucky enough to ride have really loved their job in the jumping, so they've had a really good life after racing.
For a young rider, or any rider who's looking to take a horse off the track, and a lot of people see horses on the track and go, that's a really nice horse, I love that horse, or a horse in a paddock who they know is an ex-race horse. I think they just need to go for it bring them out, showcase them, train them if they don't know how to retrain an off-the-track horse, go to, somewhere like Team Thoroughbred that's, helping horses transition off the track. As I said, the versatility of these horses is phenomenal. They can do anything and everything. Having a thoroughbred-based event like this is just fantastic. Certainly there's a lot of thoroughbreds that get around in all disciplines all the time, but having them all in one spot on one weekend, it's just a great event. We're really happy to support it.